Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Softball America tailgate. We were supposed to be outside, but the weather here is a little confusing in Knoxville. But anyways, we are thrilled to have some of the very best who wore the uniform in all different programs. We have Alabama and we have Tennessee here. And I'm going to kick us off. We have Allie Shipman, all SEC player, went and ended her career at the Women's College World Series. Now is getting ready to go to med school. She's getting ready to plan a wedding. So much on her plate. And then we have Kaylee Tow, All-American from Alabama. I mean, I think I still have nightmares also from watching you at the plate. One of the best late heroics hitters in the game. Then you can go ahead and introduce Tennessee.
And then for your Lady Vols, you have Erin Edmoundson. She transferred her last season to Tennessee, and she made a team high 40 appearances and 29 starts for the Lady Vols. And then, of course, you have Meghan Gregg. She's an All-American and USA Collegiate Top 3 Player of the Year finalist and previous home run record until Kiki Malloy beat it this season. So in pretty good company we have today.
Yeah, some of the very best to do it. And that's why we are so excited to bring you guys on today, because we're obviously here for the regional. And like most of us know, really, you're so committed to the program, even when you're a season out or 5 seasons out. You continue to wear the uniform with the women who are wearing it now. And I want to know, as you're going back and you're watching these teams, what makes this group special? We'll start off with Tennessee and then we'll go to Alabama when you watch these women compete.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they just have all the people they need when it comes to Carlin and Peyton in the circle. They're really competitive, and as well as like 1 through 9, they're all the way through. So I'm really excited to see how today goes.
Yeah, and as an offensive person, it's really fun to watch these girls with the big swings and get it done when it really needs to happen, especially like yesterday. So they definitely have the arsenal. So we're excited for today too.
Allie, you want to lead us?
I was waiting for you to go. I think what makes this Bama team special is just the grittiness. You know, they've had a lot of ups and downs in their season, but I think you need that to really thrive in the postseason. When everything's easy to start, you don't really get punched in the face. They've been punched in the face and they've gotten back up and punched again and again and again. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with their backs against the wall, because I feel like that's when Bama softball plays their best softball. We're really good at punching back. And so I love the fight. I love the grittiness. Obviously, the culture at Alabama is something really special. So they always have that with them. So I'm just really excited to see them go out today and hopefully kick some butt.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything Allie said. I think they've had a long season that's, again, had some ups and downs, but I'm so proud of them for sticking it out, and they're playing their best ball now in the postseason. So that's all we can really ask for, and hopefully they'll go out and get a win today. But I feel like they just wear the jersey with so much pride, and I'm just proud of how they show up every single day. And again, Bama does good when their backs are against the wall, and they also do good in the rain. So hopefully this weather will be good for us.
That was a good point. So the teams have been playing in postseason. There have been some high moments, some high excitement. What has been your favorite moments watching Bama and Tennessee? We'll start off with Bama.
Yeah, I'll go with the first inning in the regional championship when we rolled off like 8 hits in a row and scored 9 runs in the first inning. I think that was the moment that they put everything together that they've been working for this season. And I can tell a complete difference in the way that they're showing up since that first inning.
Yeah, and going off of that, the pinch hit Riley Valentine home run was just like Bama magic. I mean, we call it Murph magic because he pulls people off the bench and they go yard. It's incredible. But to see her come off the bench and just really come through for her team and for her seniors, that was a really special moment to watch.
Yeah, I think one of the early things that happened this season was when Tennessee was against the wall against Baylor, and Destiny Rodriguez came in like 7th inning and put us ahead. And that was I think that was a really big moment for this team. And since then, they have not stopped with the bats. So that was really exciting to see Destiny come through and continue to come through all this season with the rest of her teammates in the lineup. So that was a really fun moment to watch.
Yeah, and I think they didn't give up a single run during regionals.
Yeah.
And so pitching's on fire. So we'll see how it goes today. But I think it's been really exciting to watch, especially the home run yesterday was really, really clutch. So it's been really fun.
Speaking of the home run, I was like, Erin, let me see your I don't know, jig. I don't know what you guys call it. You did hit.
I don't know what the formal name is. It's Irish jig, I guess.
Right after, though, the home run was hit, and I was like, so are you going to do that every at bat? Like, is that the plan? What's the game plan here?
We'll see if I have my dancing shoes on today.
We're going to need to pull that out again today. We're going to try it again today.
No
You
jigs,
all
Erin.
know we have experienced postseason, which brings on so many crazy feelings. We get chills just watching it, kind of remembering when everything's on the line and both teams are competing to go to a Women's College World Series. What's one piece of advice that you would give anyone in this situation? So if somebody's tuning in, maybe they're younger, but they're in that same championship battle, just like these women are today. Reflecting back to your career, what's one thing you wish you would have known?
I mean, I can start. Oh, you got me,
Go
Greg.
I just think just enjoy the moment. There's so many things going on. There's, lots of pressure, but also lots of excitement, but just really living in the moment, pitch to pitch, play to play, and just enjoying it because it's here and gone so fast. And I really think back about that. The more I've been out of the game, it's how exciting it was, but also just how quick it goes. So just enjoying the game and like really living that moment. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, and mine's kind of similar, just taking it pitch by pitch and really leaning on your teammates because those are your people forever. And yeah, winning, and you go through the wins, you go through the losses and everything like that, but you remember your teammates and you remember how they made you feel. And so I think like really embracing that time with your girls, because you've got like 20-something sisters on that team, is really fun, but also understanding that the challenges, although in the moment they seem like life or death, they seem so difficult, they seem awful. But when you look back, like that's what really builds you, that builds your team, that builds your character. I think about last season and like us going through all of the, turmoil that we went through and the ups and downs. And that season would have not been nearly as exciting if we hadn't gone through all those challenges. So really lean into the hard, lean into the failure, lean into the challenges, because that's what really makes softball fun.
Yeah. I'm going to give Coach Allie Habits her flowers right now and quote her. Congrats on an amazing career, Allie, if you're out there somewhere. But Allie used to tell us in the postseason that this was the time of year that we had to have the shortest memory that we've ever had. If something bad happens, you just got to move on because you can strike out and then your next at bat, you're hitting a home run to send your team to the World Series. And if you're still stuck on what happened, 10 minutes ago, you're not going to be completely present in what could potentially be your final moments with your 20 sisters. And so I feel like when you're in a huge moment or you're in the postseason, just having a short-term memory and letting anything bad that's happened go, because it has no bearing on, like yesterday, it's a heartbreaker that Tennessee hits a 2-run home run and beats us, but that has no bearing on today. If we don't show up with a whole new mentality, then, we don't have an opportunity to potentially extend our season. So Allie used to tell us that, and I'll never forget it. And if you're out there, I love you, Allie.
Yeah, I think what everybody said was right on the money, but I think also it's just staying calm, making sure not making the moments too big. I think that's the biggest thing that I wish I could go back and fix, is that I was so nervous, so much like pressure on me that it's like, you look back and it's like the things that mattered weren't exactly like so big as they are or they felt at the time. So just staying calm and staying in the moment, like they said.
Yeah, Erin, you and I were talking about that yesterday of you're in the moment, you're playing, you're like, oh my gosh, like this is life and death. And then you graduate, you're an alum, and you're just sitting on your couch just watching the games go, and you're like, oh man, they should have caught that, or like, wow, good hit. And you're like, you're still rooting for your team, but you're able to be a little bit more removed. Definitely harder to be a fan, I think, though. Sometimes my heart rate gets going. But Meghan, I wanted to ask you about living in the moment, because you hear it all the time, and as a softball player, like, yeah, like just be free, just live in the moment, but it's so hard to actually do it. What helped you live in the moment?
Just controlling my breathing and really just looking at the situation and knowing, okay, this is what's going on, to go in step by step. If anything got to feeling too big, or I'm trying to start looking at results versus what we're working on, I take a step back, take a breath, and remind myself of the plan. I think I'm a very plan-oriented person. Like if I know the plan, I'm good. So if I ever felt like I was straying away from that, taking a step back, taking a deep breath, looking at one of my teammates like, hey, this is the plan, and saying it out loud so that I can hear it, and also having my teammate there to say, yeah, that is the plan, and we're going to rock it. So I guess just taking breaths and leaning on each other for that.
And Allie, I wanted to ask you, because you were in a similar situation with Alabama last season. I mean, I was there, I lived it, but you guys dropped game 1, and then you came together and you completely rallied and ended up going to the Women's College World Series. Take me back to what were those conversations like, and the amount of belief you had to have in each other to really buy in that every single game, like, you were playing just to have another game with your team.
Absolutely. You know, the biggest thing we kept saying is we've been there before. So what, now what? We've played with our backs against the wall before. We've been in that challenging situation and we've overcome it before. So why not now? And another thing we kept saying all year was it was already written. We just had so much faith and so much belief in our team that it had already been written, and we just had to go out there and put our best foot forward, and everything was going to kind of lay itself out for us. I remember at the beginning of the year, we had somebody come in and talk to us about, like, have your bags already packed for OKC. Like, before the season started, I literally packed a bag to bring to OKC with me with, like, I had my grandpa's, like, favorite shirt in there. Like, I have everything ready. And so going into those last 2 games, it was like, my bag's already packed. We're going. There's no way we're not. We have so much belief in each other. And, like, I know Kaylee Tow knows this, Mudita, which is vicarious joy and other people's success, which is, like, the greatest thing about Alabama softball. That's our culture to a T, and that's Patrick Murphy to a T. And so I had just as much faith that the girl behind me was going to do it, the girl in front of me was going to do it. We just believed so much in each other that, like, I just felt like there's nobody that could stop us, really.
I love that answer. It's so funny because I was having this conversation with Nicole this morning. We were talking about that game, and I said, you know what I said after game 3 when everything happened? I was like, wow, it's so hard to remember sometimes that God is on the other team's side as well. And that example, it perfectly describes that.
I love it. Oh, man. Well, changing gears a little bit, tell me about, I feel like the regionals this year were insane. There's already been a couple of upsets this year in Supers. We were talking before we went live, and some of you guys are watching the games. What's been your favorite postseason game besides your own team, besides your alma mater? What's been your favorite postseason game that you're like, oh, man, that one was good? Let's start with Tennessee girlies.
I won't lie, I really only watched.
So I guess a regional. I really enjoyed watching the Mizzou regional. It was fun to watch Omaha, like, fight their way through and just dominate, and then Missouri come back on Sunday and take care of business. That whole regional was fun to watch. I mean, those were some great teams in that regional, and that was the one I was really looking at. I really wasn't sure who was going to come out of it. Not gonna lie, at first I wasn't thinking Omaha was gonna be the one that was gonna be in the championship on that, but I thought that whole regional was super fun to watch, and I'm glad that an SEC team came out on top. But it was a really fun regional to watch all together.
Yeah, I think mine was last night. LSU and Stanford. I just was not expecting LSU to absolutely unload on Nyjah, and it's so fun to watch Nyjah compete, and I think I'm even more excited for what she's going to do now, because how does she react with her back against the wall, and also just seeing LSU execute their plan offensively was a really exciting game.
Yeah, I really liked, like Meghan Gregg said, I loved the Omaha, Missouri regional, just watching, you know, a smaller team go out there and just, like, fight and fight and fight and say, like, hey, this is us, this is our team. You don't have to be a big Power 5 school to make a big splash. And it just goes to show how special softball is, because anybody can beat you on any given day. And so that's what really makes softball exciting, is you never know who's going to come out on top of any of these things. And then to see Missouri just, like, punch back and punch back and punch back was really cool.
I think that's what we've been seeing all season long, is just the parity really between every conference and throughout the entire country. And Kaylee, I want to ask you, because you've been in the booth broadcasting a ton, so you know Alabama better than maybe everybody besides Gray. I'll say Gray might be the only person.
I'll give him that.
Give him that. But also, you know, you're so immersed in the college softball world. Tell me a little bit about this Alabama team that maybe people don't know about. What are some of their strengths, but also where you're seeing the game of softball grow within the parity. And we could be looking at a new champion this year, or a 4-time. We have to speak to the Oklahoma Sooner in the room.
Yeah. I think the thing that people don't know about Alabama is how much that they love each other off the field. Like, just, I was there so much, and it felt like too much at times because you're like the alum hanging around, still training and still around them. But the way that they carry themselves and they laugh and they have fun, and I can't even imagine like being in their position where you're going through the SEC season and it's a grind. Like, we only won one series in the SEC play this year, but they're just keeping on going and they're laughing and they're still showing up and having fun. So I really, really admire them for that. And I would say just the parity across the board is exciting. Like, I'm sorry, Nicole, but I would love to see a new champion. I would, and just because it makes the game so much better and so much more exciting. And you can never take a game off. It's like we harp on how good the SEC is, but the non-conference is so good now. You can't take a non-conference game off because anybody wants to show up and beat you on any given day. So it's also exciting that ESPN is expanding the games that they're broadcasting, because now we get to see those teams who have always been good as mid-major teams, and now they're being broadcasted on ESPN Plus, and everybody can watch it and see that talent.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I have plenty more questions than that. No, you're good. I want to know, again, we've been talking about kind of postseason, but all of you guys have had such amazing careers within your own right. Even it was fun for me to be able to talk with you and kind of go back memory lane, looking at just your stats, your careers, your accolades. I want to know everybody's favorite memory you can think back to. Maybe it's not even a game, but just a moment with your team that you always hold on to.
There's so many.
Yeah, there are so many. One that just automatically comes to mind was my freshman year. We made it to the World Series against Florida State, and we did it on a walk-off. And I just remember the celebration after that was the most fun. I mean, we were all at first base, just jumping up and down, had helmets on backwards, had hats made out of Powerade cups, like some glasses made out of some athletic tape. Just the funkiest things you've ever seen, but just the most fun and genuine happiness right there at first base after that game. There's a lot of moments like that throughout my career, but that one really just sticks with me. Being young as a freshman, but being able to be a part of something so big so quickly like that. So that was really, really exciting.
Yeah. I think.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. For me, it would be my only year at Tennessee. We walked off against Texas A&M. Kelsey Leach, who has been with me like far too long through my softball career and just life, and the Leach family overall. Kelsey and I both transferred to Tennessee at the same time from Texas Tech, and she hit a walk-off home run against Texas A&M. And we brought out like the daddy hat and the fur coat and the money, and like the money's a big thing here. And we just celebrated like no other. And it was just so much fun to see. Our old head coach was at A&M too. So she got to she didn't celebrate with us, but like maybe celebrated for Kelsey and I with the experience that we went through transferring and everything. So just a good memory and just a lot of fun. And the fact that she's been in my life for so long, like she's just my sister, and it's been fun post softball as well with each other. So.
Allie, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. For me, I mean, every time the Alabama softball team got on a bus, that was like the entire world. I mean, even me and Miss Cow up there, we would like we would cry laughing every time we got on the bus. It didn't matter if it was like an hour-long trip or we were on the bus for, what was that, like 18 hours? We got stuck in A&M once.
Oh my goodness.
No. They were just so much fun. Like, you could not bring us down on those bus rides. We would laugh about anything. But my favorite on-field moment was making it to the World Series last year. That was incredible. That felt like a surreal, like Cinderella moment. You know, Montana Fouts gets hurt in the SEC tournament, and it's like, is our season over? Like, that's our leader, that's our pitcher, that's our girl, and like now she's hurt. But just to see like Jayla Torrance step up and just really shine, and just to watch everybody rally around Montana and her injury, and then for Montana to be able to throw that last game, I've never felt like that much just like relief and joy. And we were all on the field like literally sobbing because we were just so excited that we had made it through it and we had done it. We did it for our coaches, we did it for each other, we did it for Montana, we did it for Alabama. And so that was my favorite moment.
No shocker. Mine also has to do with Montana Fouts. When we beat UCLA to go to the semifinals in 2021 at the World Series, we had never beaten UCLA before as a program. They were 10-0 against us, and it was Montana's 21st birthday. And there was just like a magic about the day from the very beginning. Like, Montana was laying in her bed eating her cake with a fork, like no slice, just straight cake. And we were watching film, and there was just no doubt in the team's mind that we were going to win that night. And of course, playing under the lights in OKC, there's just different vibes. But yeah, from the perfect game that Montana threw, I mean, you can't script it any better. And then the bus celebration after, which was just like, I think there was some money as well. But it was just really fun. I'll never forget that whole entire day.
Oh man, that sounds so fun. And you think about a lot of those memories that come from postseason, but it's kind of the accumulation of work of the entire season. You're building, you're growing, you're getting close to teammates, and then finally it's like, wow, we made it, we did it. This was our big goal, this was our big accomplishment, and we're just basking in the joy. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're like, I don't love the practice piece, but I love playing. But you have to get through the practice piece. You have to get through those tough games to be able to enjoy and savor those moments that much more. And I just think it's pretty incredible, like some of the memories that you say, but how great it is that some of the best memories are off the field too, right? Where it's just, okay, we're just on the bus and we're celebrating, or we're celebrating over at first base and we just have all this funky rally gear and we're getting going and we're ready to go. Like that is what you train and basically break your body down to do all year long for that moment. And I just think it's so sweet. But this weekend, you guys aren't playing. You're getting to, one of you guys will be celebrating. How many alums are coming in town? Do you guys meet up with the parents? Where are you sitting in the stands? Like, what has that been like?
Well, there's always tailgates going on in the parking lot, so that's where we're headed next after this.
We were there yesterday. It's a crazy time.
Isn't it?
The Tennessee parents have a great time. We learned.
They do. They do not skimp on any of that. So that's where we're headed after this. Always making our rounds to the locos. And now there's a new loco group in town. They're not locos, but they're like section or row 9.
Row 3.
Row 3, yeah. So it's another set of really awesome fans. One of them was actually one of my old professors when I was at UT, Dr. Golden. He is his row, and they are very proud of it, and they are awesome. So we'll be making our rounds there. Just a really fun environment altogether. So.
Yeah, and even like somebody like me who was only there for a year, I feel like they take me in as their own, even though I was there for such a short period of time. So, like she said, seeing the parents, seeing the people, and even the alums, like I just feel like I'm one of them, and I am.
You
but
are?
Like,
oh my
you know
gosh,
what I mean?
she is.
But it's just so fun. No, it's really fun.
Yeah. What about you, Bama girls?
As far as alums go, Crystal Goodman is laying in my hotel room behind me right now.
We love it.
She's here too.
We'll be. Parents say hi.
Crystal's coming. I was gonna flash, but I just like the hotel room.
Yes, there we go.
I know Jordan Patterson's coming, so that's exciting, and we'll be up there hanging out with the parents and probably avoiding any Tennessee tailgates, of course. But I'm totally kidding. If they'll have us, we're a fun time. So, anyways, yeah, we'll be there and ready to fight with the team.
Oh yeah, the Bama alumni is like a really, really fun group to be in. I'd heard before I graduated that being a player is really fun, but being an alumni is like extra fun. And now I'm getting to experience that because it's like its own little sisterhood. You just gained like a bunch more sisters than just who are on your team. And so it's really fun to like sit up there with fellow alumni and also just like the parents, because I still know a bunch of girls on the team. I played with most of them. So I get to watch like some of my best friends out there on the field, some of the girls that are going to be my bridesmaids out there on the field. And so getting to support them and like see them after the game and give them a big old hug and support them just like as a non-teammate is so different too. Like just there, like as their best friend, I'm just here for you, like win, lose, or draw. And that's the same thing as a teammate, but it's just a little different when you're on this side of things, which is so fun.
I love that. And I think that's the most kind of impactful part of being an alumni that, you know, I personally learned this year is that you still have so much connection to the women who are there and you're able to support them, like you said, in a different role this time, kind of without your feelings aside of maybe what you're going through with the game, but just being able to show up for them. And I want to know, have any of you been able to have conversations within maybe this last weekend or postseason with any of the players? And if so, is there a specific moment or message that you gave to them that has maybe stuck out to you?
I mean, I talk to a lot of the girls pretty often. Like I said, a bunch of them are going to be in my wedding. So we have a little like bridesmaids group chat and stuff, but I just reminded them of, you know, it's already written. I know I talked about a little bit before, but we are a very religious group. And so kind of reminding them to take it one pitch at a time, that they've been there before, and that regardless of if they go 0 for 4 or 4 for 4, I know I'm going to love them. I know Patrick Murphy is going to love them. I know everybody on that staff is going to love them, their teammates. And so reminding them that, like, yeah, softball is what you do, and we have a goal and we've got things to do, but it's also not who you are. So take that step back and realize that there's so much more to you, even though postseason, like we said, it feels like life or death, but it's not. And softball is just a game. So regardless of how you do or what you do out there, give it your all. But at the end of the day, it's already written, and whatever happens, happens.
Ellie, I have to ask you quickly before we go on to the others, how many of your bridesmaids are Bama girls and who are they?
So it is Montana Fouts, Jenna Johnson, Bailey Dowling, and Abby Dukeshire are my 4 girls on the team. And then I have like a bunch of sisters. So all the sisters are the other 4 girls. But those are my 4 girls that are going to be my bridesmaids.
That's really special. I love that.
Yeah, that's so sweet. I have talked to some of the girls and I like Snapchat them all the time, but like it's never, I'm not too serious. I'm just like, y'all have fun. Like, I feel like so much of me, I would just want people to be like, they're having a good time. And I'm just not the most serious person. So I'm like, hey guys, I'm coming to see you play. Good luck. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And none of the girls on the team were my teammates. So one of the graduate assistants, though, and that's Aubrey Leach. So I talk to her all the time. We're best friends. So talk to her kind of the same way. It's not anything crazy, like inspirational stuff. Just good luck, have fun. Can't wait to see you guys. I have talked to her little sisters, her twin sisters, a little bit this week. Just sliding up on their stories, saying good luck. Can't wait to see you. Nothing too deep though, but just excited to be here.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. More anything that I say is like always along the lines of the best is yet to come. Like, and that doesn't mean that the best is yet to come tomorrow or today. Like, your best is who knows when. And when you get there, hopefully the best is always yet to come. But I mean, I feel like just with talking to the seniors and senior leaders, it's like it feels like you're coming to the end of something, but whether the best is yet to come in OKC next week or the best is yet to come when you're standing beside your teammate at her wedding or holding her child, like the best is still yet to come for all of us.
Man,
That was like the
awesome.
best
Like,
answer ever. I have to
chills right here. I'm like, wow, okay, that's great. I know I texted some of the OU girls and I did not go quite as eloquently as that. And I don't think they got chills reading it. Did you, whenever Northwestern was in it, did you text them?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it worked out perfect being able to be in Texas, but it's kind of like what we've all been mentioning. It's just was showing up for them. It was, if somebody wanted to go on a coffee walk before the game or get ice cream after, like I just wanted to be a face that was always there. And it could have been completely non-softball conversations.
Yeah.
Because the friendships is what matters. And as we wrap this all up, because we want to make sure everyone's able to get to the game in time, we've been talking about the parity, we've been talking about our teams, but let's talk about the growth of the sport, because not only is softball, but women's sports is on the rise. So for anyone listening, kind of where do you guys envision softball going? What are the hopes? And then how can we get there? And we all rally no matter where was our alma mater. We're all coming together to grow the sport at the end of the day. Kaylee, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think my dream for the growth of the sport is that when a little girl is 8 years old and she starts to dream about playing softball, that she can legitimately see herself making money in this game and playing at the Olympics consistently. And I think there's a lot of ways that we can get there, but I think a lot of it starts with those who are excited about softball and have been affected by the game sharing that with other people, because the program is going to take off when there's legitimate committed fan bases that want to come to every single game and that are willing to spend the money to do that. So, colleges come with an attached fan base anyway. Like, somebody's going to come to basketball and then they're going to come to softball. And so gathering people around a pro team is a little bit more difficult. But I think if we can bring people along with us, and as alums and as people who love the game, invest in the pro teams and try to grow that, I feel like that's leaving the game better than we found it, when a little girl legitimately has the dream to play in the Olympics and make money in softball.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I feel like at the collegiate level, we are so electric. Softball is like constantly growing and growing and growing. And then after college, it's like, well, what now? And so I feel like there's a great opportunity for the sport of softball to really jump into that professional league. Like, how can we grow that? How can we, become our little MLB? Because I think it's really awesome to, I want to play in college, but what's the next step for us as softball players? Like, you ask a little baseball player, what do you want to do? And he's like, I want to play in the major leagues. And we want to play in college. So I think there's that next step that we got to get to. And I think that's easy for softball, and easier said than done, but I think it's an easy route to get there because people love to watch this game. Like we said, with ESPN expanding, people love to watch softball. So I think it'll just take like one tiny step, and I think the professional league will explode. And I just think that's what we need.
Yeah, y'all said it perfectly. Just being able to have a career in softball. I do think that Athletes Unlimited is doing a great job being able to be broadcasted. I love watching the games on ESPN now that they're starting to broadcast more. It looks like it's going to be a super fun summer season for you guys too. I know, Nicole, you're playing. So as long as we can just keep having more TV time like that with AU, I think that's going to continue to grow the sport. But yeah, just creating a career out of it, not just a way to get into college and a way to have college paid for, because we are important. Women's sports are important, and we need to be put on a high pedestal like MLB is. So definitely continuing to grow as a career.
Yeah, I would agree with everybody. I think Allie said it, where it was, you can ask a little girl, what do you want to be when you grow up? And hopefully one day it can be a softball player, and like have that be a career for somebody, rather than sometimes it's, for a certain amount of time, and we want to be able to have it for an extended amount of time and be able to not have to worry about anything outside of your sport. And if you're able to get that far, and I don't think we're there right now, but we're getting there. I think even though Caitlin Clark doesn't play softball, she's done a lot for women's basketball and the WNBA, and just growing that. And I think that we have those type of players and those faces in softball that can make that happen. And I just think we're getting there little by little, but it'll take some time, but I think we're getting closer to that.
And with all of us, we can do it. We can accomplish anything. That's what I truly believe in. You mentioned Caitlin Clark. I actually watched her throw out the first pitch at Iowa. So I think we're going to have to keep her practicing her arm circles so she can just like hop around in each college and continue to help us grow our game too. But I'm glad you mentioned Nicole. We have to shout out, just signed with New York yesterday. We'll be playing in the pro leagues there. Super excited to watch her play. Yeah.
Congrats.
Watch her play. But
Not excited to play against you, Nicole. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not. Congratulations. I'm just kidding.
Thanks, girl. Well, we can't thank you guys enough. Tennessee, Alabama, you guys have shown us already great hospitality between players, fans, and now you guys with the alumni. And we are just so excited to be here in Knoxville. And we're excited to watch some good softball today with the rest of you guys.
That's right. Go Vols.
We're hoping
I
was waiting for it.
We love it. Well, from Softball America, I'm Sydney Supple along with Nicole Mendes. Thank you all for tuning in, and get ready for an exciting day of Super Regionals. Awesome. We'll see you all at the field.